How you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, blessed, man.
Harris, what's it like for you just to be on this stage?
It's awesome. I mean, it's something that I've been working towards since I first picked Ohio State to get developed to come to this spot and all the work that's been done. So it's awesome.
What are the biggest things that Ohio State did to help you get to this point?
I mean, I would say it's just the development. I would say it's the off season. It's the workouts with Coach Mick. He sets the tone. He sets the mindset for the season. And I would say just the work going against guys like going against JT every day, Jack, Zach Harris. I'm going against the best pass rushers each week. So I would say just going, just having those looks and the work I'm doing every day with Mike Seleni each and every day. I'm working plays with him. I'm doing technique with Willie Anderson and Coach Fry helped me to transition to tackle. So I would say it took a group of people to help me to get here.
Harris, talk a little bit. You only had the 1 year at left tackle. Is that something that's coming up in your conversations with teams, and how are you sort of approaching that?
No, that hasn't been anything that's been brought up with teams. I think the fact that I played a year at right guard and a year at left tackle just shows the versatility and my ability to pick up this new position and also my willingness to do so.
Harris, talk a little bit about that transition from guard to tackle. Was it something that kind of came naturally? Was it something that took a lot of work? How did your coaching staff, how did you kind of make that transition? Because it's not something that is normally easy for a lot of offensive linemen.
Yeah, so I think I'm a natural tackle, but at the same time, I want to be part of the best five. So if I got to learn how to snap and beat a center, I'll do it. That's just how I wanted to play. But I mean, I feel like for me, I'm more naturally a tackle, but at the same time though, like it took time, and it took all those spring practices, all the time in the fall camp. But at the same time, it was like a lot of the work and most of the work were the things I'm doing away with, like our GA, Mike Seleni. He's helped me every day. I'm staying after him, staying after with Coach Fry after every practice. I'm coming in on odd days when nobody's coming in and do that extra work. So that's the things behind the scene outside the scheduled practice to help me to get here.
Hey, Paris, could you talk a little bit about your relationship with Will Anderson and maybe some of the things that you're working on in your game leading up to the draft and just your program?
Yeah, so I've been working with Willie Anderson since I was a sophomore in high school. Since I first got told my head coach in high school, that I was going to make the transition over to tackle, and to me, he's like a family to me. Like I hit him with all the questions I have, the advice I have about the game, about life, about the transition. So I would say the one big thing that I work on with him a lot is we work individual hands. And that's something that also that Coach Fry, he also brought to Ohio State too. So um, it's kind of perfect that I'm working individual hands and individual feet with Coach Fry, and then Willie Anderson, his technique and all that stuff mirrors the same thing. So I'm able to bring it to practice. I'm able to receive the same coaching, the same support to continue to enhance that technique, which is awesome.
Hey, Paris, one of your key qualities is your athleticism. Did you play any other sports other than football growing up?
Yeah, so actually my first sport as a kid was I did hockey, and then I was in gymnastics. My mom took me out once all the guys got out too, so I made that. I wasn't in gymnastics that long, but my mom just had me put in all types of sports. I did t-ball, not baseball, but t-ball. I played soccer. I've done all types of stuff. I was in wrestling when I was younger, and I did it a year in high school. I hated wrestling, but I think it's something that helps with the mental toughness and also again the physicality of the sport too, and the endurance that it takes to play the sport at a high level. So I mean, I've always been a person that's played a lot of sports, and even in football, I wasn't always a lineman. Started out as a safety, then I was a quarterback, believe it or not, and then I was a receiver and a tight end, a defensive end. So I've been playing those positions, those mix of positions, just as long as I've been an offensive lineman. So I think it's helped my game. I've done a lot of
You mentioned your
movement.
mother. What role did she play in your upbringing?
Yes, I would say my mom. She was my mom and my dad. That was her influence in my life. So she sacrificed a lot to put me in position to be here. She sold her house so I could switch schools to early enrolled Ohio State. There's not a lot of parents that would do that to believe in their kid. That early, I told her stuff I wanted to do. She did it. She quit her job so I could take the 10,000 college visits that I took to, get all the photo shoot pictures in and whatnot and see the campuses. So, I mean, for me, she's been a blessing and she's been super supportive and she's been walking with me in my journey since the start when I told her I wanted to take it to the highest level. So she's been awesome.
Luke said that we talked about 3 years ago, you were getting ready for your first big game.
Yeah.
Surprised that he was here. I mean, he didn't expect to be here for years. You probably did. I mean, you're a five-star guy. That always been your plan that you would be a three-year guy.
Yeah, so I would say that it's the reason why. I mean, for me as a kid, you grow up in Cincinnati, Ohio, you hear about cool cities, and you're like, man, once I get an opportunity, I'm out. So I kind of always wanted to leave the state because I wasn't really familiar with Ohio State that much growing up. But then I made the decision to go to Ohio State. I knew the development. I loved the family vibe up there, like Coach Day and Ohio State. But I mean, also at the same time, I knew that Ohio State could give me everything I wanted to be 3-and-out if I did everything right. It wasn't going to come easy, and it wasn't something that if I just sat back and waited, it would have happened naturally. But I feel like Ohio State gave me opportunities, and it gave me an opportunity to do with it as I please, take advantage as much as I wanted. So I mean, I would say this is something I've always planned to, but again, I had to do everything right, you know.
But what do you think? He was surprised to be here. I mean, give me your kind of your take on Luke Whitler and his journey.
Yeah, like Luke. I mean, I met him at Stanford. Like my sophomore junior year, and he's a smart guy. I would say we sort of grew up together in a way of where we played together in high school, college. Who knows? So maybe in NFL. It's been kind of cool. I mean, I would say with Luke, he's always been super smart, and I would say he works hard. And I mean, for me, it's no surprise that he came out in three to me, because I know the work he's put in when he's not watched.
What would it
What are
mean
the
to
traits that make you a natural tackle? You said you feel like you are that. Why?
Yeah, I would say one, my athleticism I feel like is unmatched, in the country. I would say that my ability to move my feet and my ability to be able to cover my opponent. I've never played basketball because I can't dribble, but I mean my feet can cover anybody. And that's just how I feel. I don't know, because I grew up in church, a lot of dancing and whatnot, but I feel like I have good feet, and I feel like the violence that I play with too. I feel like out in space is crucial. You have your guard sometimes you get a chip, but I mean I feel like a lot of times this season I didn't have that all the time. And in order to get the body blows you need to succeed at tackle when you're on an island over and over again is those body blows and that violence out in space, to slow your man down.
what would it mean to block for a fellow Buckeye in Justin Fields?
Oh, can you repeat that?
What would it mean for you to block for a
Oh,
fellow Buckeye in Justin Fields?
that would be awesome. So when I first came to Ohio State, I mean, he took me in and it's always cool, when you're a young lineman, the starting quarterback. He's a humble guy, and he's always, I used to beat him in Madden all the time. He knows. You can tell him. But that's my guy, and he's an amazing quarterback. He's smart. He's accurate, and I mean, it would be an honor to be back with him again.
So some of these fellow teammates of yours the last couple of days are taking exception to this narrative being thrown around by critics saying he's a running back playing quarterback. What would you say to those critics that put that kind of stuff out there?
I would say that they don't really watch film that often. I wouldn't say they know him. I would say you can go back to high school. I mean, he competed with Trevor Lawrence in high school at the opening, and there's no running back in drills the opening. It's 7-on-7, and he won. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he won best quarterbacks. I mean, he's been highly touted all the way through. I mean, all the records he broke at Ohio State and all the stuff he's done. I mean, yeah, just because he has the ability to score just as easily on his feet, I think that's a plus. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel like his ability to get the ball, his ability to read, and his ability to be able to get out in space to make the difficult throws that now the quarterbacks can do, I think, he has all the intangibles that you want.
Paris,
I have. It was formal.
what was your impression of Jason Light, Todd Bowles, Coach Woody, Coach Gilbert?
I mean, I had a great time with them, and I think it was a successful interview, and I think I really got to know them, and they really got to know me. So I think it was a great interview overall.
Paris,
There
in
have been
respect
some
to
guys who've said that in their interviews or formal meetings and in
Yeah, so it wasn't my first inning. My first inning was the Chargers. My first night here. The second day in the morning, my first inning was the Bears, and they asked me if I like to play to do darts or to play golf, and I was like, let's do darts. And I didn't see the board in there, but when I did walk past, I did notice a putting green. But I didn't ask, I'm locked in for this meeting, right? And then he was like, all right, you're gonna play some darts. So he gave me some darts. I'm playing with the coaches, and he's hitting almost all the. He's right around the bullseye every time. The last one he actually hit it. The first two I hit like some snacks in the corner, and then I hit a wall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna end this meeting if I and I and then it just hit the board. So I was happy. I hit the board in the last one. Turns out I should have chose golf, but. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool, to set the vibe. Because the first interview, I'm hyped up, and I'm ready to go. But I think just to set the vibe.
Should have
Did
played
you have any
Madden.
idea that
Yeah.
did you have any idea that that could be something that teams might ask of you to do or offer as something to get an interview started?
No, I mean, when you come in, I think this is the most important interviews in my life. So I wanted to come on a very professional level, and I expected nothing less than that. But honestly, I think it was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, we are guys that just came out of college. Now, we're grown men, but at the same time, we just came out of college. And I feel like for me, I wasn't stressed. I've been preparing every day. But I feel like these can be some stressful times in a way. But I think for them to just be like, you know what, like, before we get started, let's play this game. You get your mind going. It relaxes you. Now you're open up to talking. I ended up having like 18 more interviews that day. So it was cool. I set that to set the tone, cool pace. We enjoy the rest of the meetings because it's something that Bears interview I'm always going to remember. You know what I
How
mean?
important is it for you to be the number one tackle in this class?
Can you repeat that?
How important is it for you to be the number one tackle in this class? Like emerge from this process as the number one tackle?
Yeah. So I think the first things first, which is the main thing, and them deciding who is the number one tackle is film, and I feel like I've proven that in my film already. And with this time, it's me being able to show them in the interviews. I'm able to get on the board. I'm able to explain my technique, what went right, what went wrong, things I can improve on. What are the things I've seen? What's the mindset? How quick am I doing my memory? We're trying to remember a play installed. I feel like with stuff like that, I think all this stuff's been great, And then I'm going to be doing the field work tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the O-line drills and the bench press, being able to show off my strength, being able to show off how I move my feet, because I feel that's one the strengths of my game. I can't necessarily show my violence on the field since it's all bags. I'm sure none of the coaches want me to do something extra like that. You know what I mean? But I think just being able to reaffirm, but then being able to touch and feel and see in person, it's different. It's another layer to what they've seen I put on film, on tape.
You doing just position work tomorrow?
Can you repeat that?
Are you doing just position work tomorrow?
I'm doing the position work and I'm doing the bench press.
Paris was one of those meetings that you had with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes,
Formally.
it was formal.
Harris, just tell us about how you originally decided you were going to put your foundation together and do your philanthropic work and just that the journey, what you've experienced during that.
Yes, so I mean, well, like when I was a kid, for me it was always important. I was like, God, I want to be able to get to a level in life to where I can be able to say something and things will be able to happen and be influenced. But I want it to be for the right things. You know what I mean? I feel like when I was a kid, I saw a lot of people that people looked up to that used their platform for things that were irrelevant and meaningless, and people followed that. They flocked to that. So I feel like for me, I wanted to use my platform to glorify God and be able to help other peoples that deserved it. And so for me, I've always had a passion for veterans that are homeless and disabled, and I think those people should be taken care of. That's the ultimate sacrifice in life behind Jesus dying on the cross, in my opinion, right? And my mom, she sacrificed for me. She did a whole bunch of things. I keep going down the list, but I'm sure I don't have enough time to keep doing that. But I can go down the list. But there's a lot of families who they can't afford to sacrifice anything really, and that's a whole other level. And I feel like there's people who supported me and my mom and my sister to allow me to continue to do what I do. And I feel like the only thing I can do to be able to pass the game on to the next generation is to pass on that same charity. I'm gonna help you. You need some cleats. I got you size 16 cleats. You're not gonna find those that play it against sports. You need some new shoulder pads. Okay, the new technology with shoulder pads is different nowadays than it was when I'm kids. You're wearing those giant ones. You know what I mean? And it's different. You need like some knee braces. You want to go to FBU, All American camp. You're trying to do stuff like that. Certain things where we can help out. It'd be awesome. Like I plan on I talked with one of my friends. I won't talk about it yet, but he wants to have a football camp, and I want to be able to sponsor a lot of the equipment there and be able to take care to make sure the camp is free and for everybody. So that's some stuff that we're possibly talking about in the future, possibly next off season, so I can focus on ball right now.
You mashed up against Michael Williams in the Peach Bowl. What impressed you about him as a talented youngster and the rest of that Georgia D line?
Yeah, he has the motor, and he has that finish too. So I would say he's a good kid and he has a good future.
Have you talked to the Packers?
Yes, I've talked to the Packers. Formal. All my interviews have been formal so far.
And how did that go?
It was good. It was great. It was good to connect with them. I shared my influence I had from guys like Josh Myers. I would say when I first got to Ohio State, I jumped on his back and I did everything he did. It was probably super annoying, but I learned a lot, and I thank him for that all the time. And even before he left me with a lot of. He was the type of guy like when I got on the field, and like especially at guard as a freshman, versus like Clemson, Alabama, I'm jumped in the middle of the game. I got a lot of stuff in my mind. It's like, hey, do what you just like. Do the things that you do in practice. Just act like this is practice. Play like that, because the intensity that I practice with. Soon as a guy like that, a vet guy, helps in your center is like 6'3", he's massive, right? And he's like, you're good. He said, I'm good. I'm straight. You know what I mean? So I'm going out there, I'm playing free. So I would say he's one of those first guys that really, he let me unleash myself in college. He helped me with that. That would be awesome. Yeah, if God gave me the opportunity to be back with him, I think that'd be great.
Have you talked to the Packers?
All right.